Welcome to the 45th episode of the Nordic Sports News Podcast, the world's first daily cross-country ski and biathlon podcast with the latest news from around the globe. Today, let's check the Swedish, Norwegian and French teams for the Le Grand Bornand Biathlon World Cup and also, the Swiss, Finnish, French, Norwegian and Swedish teams for the Dresden cross-country skiing World Cup. Now, find out who will be the 12 French biathletes participating this week in the Biathlon World Cup in Le Grand Bornand. France will indeed engage this week in Le Grand Bornand the same 12 biathletes as in recent days in Hochfilzen. In the Arvis Cauldron, we will therefore find Caroline Colombo and Eric Perrault to complete a group bringing together all the captains of the France team. Along them, Antonin Gigonat, Emilien Jacquelin, Fabien Claude, Quentin Fillon-Maillet, Simon Desthu, Anaïs Biscond, Anaïs Chevalier, Chloé Chevalier, Justine Brazes, and Julia Simon. Now, find out who will be the Swedes present next weekend in Grand Bornand for the Biathlon World Cup. The Swedish coaches, satisfied with the results of their biathletes, bet on stability for the last week of the World Cup of the year. In Grand Bornand, we will find Sebastian Samuelsson, leader of the men's general, Elvira Eberg, Stina Nielsen, author of her first top 10 last weekend in Hochfilzen, Hannah Eberg, and Martin Ponsiluoma. Jesper Nellen, forfeited due to a cold last weekend but not replaced, will be part of the game this time. Women, Hannah Eberg, Elvira Eberg, Lynn Persson, Stina Nielsen, Mona Brorson, and Anna Magnusson. Men, Pepe Femling, Oscar Brandt, Malte Stephensen, Jesper Nellen, Martin Ponsiluoma, and Sebastian Samuelsson. For the Norwegians, we have some changes for Le Grand Bornand. Caroline Erdal and Ronhild Femsteinevik make their entry into the Norwegian national team for the Biathlon World Cup. The Norwegian Biathlon Association announced on Monday morning the composition of its national team sent this week to Grand Bornand for the last stage of the World Cup of the year. While no change is to be reported for the men with the selections of Johannes Thingsbo, Sturla Holm Legriad, Vidal Sjosted Christensen, Tarjei Bo, Sivert Guternbakken, and Philippe Fjeld Andersen, a change is announced on the women's side. Caroline Naughton and Emily Kalkenberg are replaced by Caroline Erdal, 5 top 10 in the IBU Cup since the start of this winter, and Ronhild Femsteinevik, winner of the mass start 60 from Suzhou 10 days ago. Tyrell Eckhoff, Ida Lean, Marte Olsbu Roiseland, with the yellow bib, and Ingrid Landmark Tondrevold will also be there. Now, let's check the selections for the Dresden cross-country skiing World Cup. First, we discover the list of French skiers selected for Dresden cross-country skiing World Cup, scheduled for next weekend in Germany. After 3 rounds of the cross-country skiing World Cup divided between sprint and distance events, the stage in Dresden, which celebrates its last edition this year, is devoted exclusively to sprinting. To shine in Saxony, Cyril Berde, the French coach, decided to select the irremovable Richard Jouve, already 2 podiums this winter. To complete the French team, we find Lucas Chenavit, who is currently gaining momentum, Renaud J and Arnaud Chotam. Among the women, Lena Quinton, qualified for the finals last Saturday in Davos, will be there, like Flora Dalci. Across the border, Swiss Ski has just unveiled the composition of its national team selected to compete in the cross-country skiing World Cup in Dresden. After their fine performances in Davos, at home, notably with Nadine Fiendrich's podium in the sprint, the Swiss will travel with 8 athletes for the cross-country skiing stage in Dresden this weekend. Dario Colonia, after what was the last Davos of his career, will not be there, according to the Swiss ski press release. Roman Schad, 9th in the sprint on Friday, and Valerio Grand, 11th, will be present. The cross-country skiers will meet in Germany to compete in a skate sprint on Saturday and a team sprint on Sunday. The Swiss selection for the Dresden cross-country skiing World Cup. Women, Nadine Fiendrich, Lorien van der Graaf, Alina Meyer, and Lee Fischer. Men, Jovian Hediger, Valerio Grand, Yannick Riebli, and Roman Schad. Cross-country skiing, the Finns without Krista Parmakoski for Dresden. Now, find out who the Finns will be in the cross-country skiing World Cup in Dresden. Back in Davos last weekend, Krista Parmakoski will not make the trip to Dresden. 17th in the sprint in Switzerland, the Finnish cross-country ski star has decided to skip the line to prepare as well as possible for the Tour de Ski, which will start on December 28. In the men, no Ivo Niskanen, not at ease in the sprint, nor Joni Mäki, ill. Finland will be led by its young prodigy Niilo Moilanen. The Finns for the Dresden cross-country skiing World Cup. Women, Annie Alakoski, Josefina Book, Jasmi Joensuu, Jasmine Kahara, Marit Pajanoha, and Joanna Akola. Men, Juuso Harala, Lauri Manila, Niilo Moilanen, Verneri Poikkonen, Verneri Suhonen, and Lauri Vuorinen. And Norway will not count on Klæbo in Dresden. Johannes Højslot Klæbo will not be present next weekend in Dresden for the German round of the cross-country skiing World Cup. Second in the Lillehammer sprint 10 days ago, Thomas Helen Larsen was due to participate in the Davos sprint last Saturday. Sick, he finally had to give up, giving way to Even Northug. Next weekend, in Dresden, the Norwegian will have another chance to shine on the World Cup circuit. Above all, his compatriot Johannes Højslot Klæbo, as expected, will not be in the game. Finn Hagen Krogh, Even Northug, Sindre Bjørnestad Skar, Havard Celeste Haug Bol and Hakan Skans are also selected. Among the women, Maiken Kaspersen Faye will lead a team with Christine Stavas Skastad, Matilda Mervold, Anna Pelkvist Stenseth, and Julie Meyer, performing on the Scandinavian Cup of Beitostølen last weekend. And to wrap up our news today, Maja Dahlqvist will lead Sweden to Dresden. Winner of the first 3 sprints of the winter in the World Cup, the Swedish Maja Dahlqvist advances towards the stage of Dresden as a big favorite. This weekend, Swedish cross-country skier Maja Dahlqvist will try to achieve the pass of 4 in the sprint skating in Dresden, Germany. On the banks of the Elbe, she will be accompanied by Moa Hansen, Moa Lundgren, Emma Rybom, and Jenny Celine. Jonna Sundling, for her part, is continuing her rehabilitation. In the men's side, Gustav Berglund, Marcus Grate, Johan Hikström, Olof Jonsson, Oskar Svensson, who came out in qualifying last Saturday in Davos, and Carl Johan Westberg will defend the Swedish colors. And that's all for today, folks. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. Just type Nordic Sports News on these platforms and access our content. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow in the next episode. Information credits to Nordic Mag.